Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lunchtime with the Librarian. This is our monthly program where we're joined by a member of the library community to talk a little bit more about them and get to know them a little bit better. My name is Amy Moskovitz, and I'm the reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library. And we're joined today by Celia Adams.
Hi
Celia,
guys.
hi, Celia. Celia is a new-ish library employee here at the library, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Celia today. So, Celia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Celia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am 22 years old and I just graduated from High Point University down in North Carolina. I graduated with a major in writing and a minor in marketing. I currently live at home with my parents. I'm one of four and I'm also a triplet. And I live with my parents, my brother, and my two dogs whose names are Schroeder and Lucy.
Aw, Peanuts fan?
Well, my brother wanted the name Schroeder. So then we were like, okay, well, we gotta make it Lucy because we just gotta add the reference in.
Clearly. What do you love most about working at the library?
I love getting to see what everyone's reading. I love, especially if someone's going to read one of my favorites or if they're reading a book I'm interested in, and then I'm like frantically trying to memorize the book before I hand it off. But I just love having that moment of being like, oh, I love this book, or oh, this, looks like something I should try. Because I get to have, a moment of building a bond with someone, and it's interesting to me to see what everyone else is interested in reading.
Absolutely. What did you do before you started working at the library?
So I was a full-time student, but while working as a full-time student, I also had two on-campus jobs working as a recreational facilities manager and a writing tutor. And then in the time of COVID, I was also a host, and between being a graduation and this, I was also a hostess at a sports bar.
Oh, cool. A lot of different jobs.
Yeah, I have a very varied background in the job field.
So, what drew you to libraries?
I sort of always loved libraries. They were always my place to, hang out or just pass some time. That's where I always did my homework and studied and stuff. So in high school, since I was always in the library anyway, I sort of just started picking up tasks, kind of to help the librarians because they always let me hang out. But also just because I watched it enough that I knew I could do it. And as I started shelving books and then I started helping people find books. And as I just kept adding tasks to what I did, I was like, hey, this is something I could actually like do.
Cool. Well, we're glad you're here.
So thank you.
What are some of your favorite books?
My go-to favorite book is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I absolutely adore that book. Obviously, like most book nerds, asking me to choose a favorite book is like asking me to choose a favorite child. But right now, the ones that pop into my mind as being my favorite are Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo and Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite genre?
YA fantasy. It's what I always go to when I'm trying to get out of a reading slump, but I also read a lot of sci-fi and adult fantasy, and I'm trying to read more mystery.
Oh, cool. What were some of your favorite books growing up?
I absolutely adored the Boxcar Children. I had like almost 100 of them. I loved those books. And I also was really into fairies. So I read all of the Rainbow Magic series and the Fairy Realm series. And then, like every future book nerd, I read Harry Potter and I loved it. And Rick Riordan. My entire middle school life was defined by how much I loved Rick Riordan.
Hmm. So, aside from reading, what are some of your hobbies?
Reading is the majority of what I do, as well as watching TV and movies. And one of my, more notable hobbies is I do Taekwondo.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I've
interesting.
done that since I was 8, and I have two black belts.
Oh, very cool. Where do you like to travel or visit? Maybe not in COVID times, but before or after.
Um, me and I try and go with my mom and some friends a few times every summer to the shore. but I just, we just never had a chance to travel a lot, probably because there were so many of us and schedules were always sort of hectic. But going to the shore, I've taken, a few trips down to like Jamaica, which were fun. And then I went once to a few years ago, sorry, I went to Scotland and I was supposed to go to Scandinavia before COVID hit, but the Scotland trip was so fun that I'm just hoping someday in the future I'll get to go explore more of Europe.
Definitely.
I love the history. I love how old everything is. Sounds dumb.
It's fascinating. If you could live in any book universe, what would it be?
Hogwarts, without a doubt. I love magic, and I actually loved being in school, especially like college. I had a great time in college. And so the idea of like magic boarding school is right up my alley.
Definitely. I could see that. Um, what are you reading now?
What am I reading now? A lot of things because I'm a very scatterbrained person, but within the last 24 hours, my official book I'm reading right now is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. But within the last 24 hours, I've read Lore by Alexandra Bracken, A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn, and The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan.
Oh, very cool. You're like me. I read a lot of books at once.
I just bounce between things very easily.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you give someone who wants to work in a library?
Learn the alphabet and learn it well. But also, I'd say I would steal my advice right from my favorite comedian, Gabriel Iglesias, which is just work hard and be nice, because but there's a lot of tasks to do in a day as a librarian. And, it's one of those things it's not just you can't breeze by. You got to know to be working hard. And it's a lot of community interaction and talking to people. And so really the two best skills you can have is work hard, be nice.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Kind of piggybacking on that question is, what do you like about serving the patrons in this community?
I like that I get to help people enjoy something that I myself really enjoy. And I get to provide a service that I used, constantly growing up and that I still use. And to me, it feels good to do something for other people, which was done for me and which is still done for me. It feels good to like provide a service I would want provided.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Celia. It was great to get to know a little bit more about you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. It's fun to be known.
Well, thank you for joining us today for Lunchtime with the Librarian. And we will be with you again next month with another member of our library community. Bye.
Nice.